Hey, what's up, you guys? So it's here, King Burno again. So here I have a BMW 325i, 2020, no, 2004. My bad. But today, so if the BMW, if you crank it, if you crank it and it doesn't want to turn on, but it makes a noise, dun, 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 dun. The problem is gonna be either five of these things. So number one is your fuel pump, which is back here. Your fuses. So there's two fuses. There's your fuel pump fuses, and then there's your fuel pump relay. So for those two, they need to have good fuses for it to send power to the fuel line pump back here. So number three is your CCV, which is your intake. It's which allows the air to come in the car. So here's the intake. It's in the front. I'm about to show you guys where everything's at. But the intake is where the air comes in, which comes into the engine, which is going to power up the engine. Because an engine is going to need only three things to power up: air, power, and fire. To the ignition coil, basically. So, okay, so here is the intake. So here is what comes, the air comes in here, it comes into this boot. Here's the fuel pump, whatever this is called. You need this, and then the input in the back right there. And then here's the fuel air, the ring. I'm not sure what this is called. I'm not that much of a mechanic, but I'm trying to learn. But here's your ignition, not ignition coils, but here's the injectors for the fuels. Here's the fuel arrow. If you want to see if you have pressure in these, you gotta, if you have like a flat screwdriver, if you hit the small little pin right there, it should have fuel coming out like shoo. If it does that, that means you have fuel pressure, basically. But if it comes out slowly, just like a small waterfall, that means you don't have any fuel in this, which means you're gonna have to check your fuel pump. But it could also be your ignitions. You gotta make sure all these are plugged in, like all the way. Look, you see how that one's plugged in all the way? It has to be plugged in tight, like to where like there's not even an open gap. This, you gotta say this is good. Here's your oil tank. Make sure that's closed real tight, because if it's kind of loose, air's gonna get in here. Also, go around and check all these, you know, check if they're in good. If you took them out, just make sure all these are working. Also, make sure you have this plugged in. But so if you take this out, you're gonna take this out. There's a little clip right here, clipped on right here, clip right in here. Can't see, I don't know, you can see that right there, that clip. And then there's a clip right here. So take this out. You're gonna take this off right here, and then unscrew whatever's on your screws. I don't have the 10s, but take it out, and then take off your air filter, which I just took mine off recently, and I just bought a new one. This still works, but I just decided to change it. So if it's your CCV, it's your hoses, which is gonna be 4 hoses, or it's gonna be 3. Here's one hose, and there's a hose right here that comes down here, and then there's your alternator. This is this other big piece there's like inside that you gotta remove all these to get to, and then you gotta change this, your dip, and everything. Let's see if it's wrong. And if it's not that, you come over here. Here's your fuses right here. You take this out right here. Here's your fuses. You want to see, so for the ignition coil comes right here, which is the well, I'm not sure what is this called, but it comes up here, comes in here, all the way right here to right here, and you see which one it goes to. So it's gonna go to this one right here, and then this one goes to that one right there. Check if those are working with power. And then here is your fuel is the fuel relays right here. Take it out and check each of these voltages if the fuse is not blown. Yep. And then the other one should be under the compartment block. So we come here under the passenger side. I don't know if this spilled. Hopefully it didn't spill. But put this right here. Open it. And it's gonna be closed. So basically it's gonna be like this. And you see those, if you see this white, you're just gonna twist it. You're just gonna twist it. So until it just falls. So twist it, and your fuel pump, it will be on your owner manual, or it should have a little piece of paper like underneath this. But if you guys don't have one, I feel like all these models are the same. So the fuel pump is always number 54. So if you see this chip right here, this chip, and then you see this is 53, then this is 54. This is a 20 amp. Take that out with a fuse picker or with pliers. Just be careful, and then check if it's blown or not. Then check these two right here. Yeah, you gotta check those if that's not working. So now you checked all your fuses. You checked if you have air coming in your intake and there's no leak in the boots or the hoses. Now the other one is your fuel pump. Now let's check the fuel pump. So you come back here. It's gonna be back here in the back seat. There will be your seat. You will have to take it out. So you just have your seat and you pick it up from underneath and you lift it, and it'll just come off right easily. It's right here. You gotta take this off. It should be nailed in, but mine is not nailed in. And you take it off, and it's right in there. That's your fuel pump. That's the connector. That's the hose, and that's the ring, and that's the pump itself. You have this. You gotta check if it has power with the amp. The amp is right there. You see that right there? Use that to check if it has power. And if it has power, that means you're good. It could be your fuel pump, but if you can hear your fuel pump, if it's working, it's not your fuel pump. It's not. Let me close this up. Oh. If you want to hear the fuel pump and test it out, you go inside the ignition and you turn it on. Just to the on. And you're gonna be able to hear it. So it's not the fuel pump, okay? So you checked everything. Now you go here at your spark plugs. You want to take this out, and you want to check if if it's sending electricity, if it has any power with the amp voltage I just showed y'all in the car. You want to check them, and if they are, you want what is the problem? Everything is working, right? So you checked everything in the car in the BMW. You checked if the battery was good, and the battery was fine. You checked if the hoses were fine, if the CCV were fine. You checked if there was any rips in the intake boots, everything. You checked the fuses, if they were sending power. Everything works. The spark plugs got power. You put new spark plugs in. Everything is working. The fuel pump has power. The fuel pump itself is not bad. What's wrong with the car? Everything is working, and it still does not want to crank up. So let me show you. BMW on the gas pedal, if you're a fast driver, if you hit it too hard, it will lock up. And the gas pedal, it's made electronically. It's not like the other ones that you can just hit it. It's made electronically, and it has a sensor. And if you mess up the sensor, the car will go on lock and it won't crank. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's go to the driver's side right here. Here's the gas pedal right here. I already took it off. I took off the gas pedal, and that was my problem. I took this off because it locked up the engine, because on the thing it says it's too fast. So I have to replace the whole gas pedal. Everything works. The fuses, the fuel pump, the power, the battery, everything works. But this was the problem. Now let's try it. Okay. Now we're here. I removed it, so it should calm down and say that I'm not at high speed. So it should turn on, but I cannot drive it because it doesn't have a gas pedal. So You can hear the fuel pump. You hear that? Nah. Look at that. I tried this so many times, so the fuel is kind of clogged up, but it's slowly gonna get there. So there you go, guys. Look, it cranked up. You checked. It was gas pedal was on lock mode. Everything worked. The fuses, the other fuse relay, the spark plug had power to it. The fuel injectors were good. Everything worked. The hoses. But what was the problem? That was your guys' problem. Everything's working. The car is working now. We got it turned right back on. There we go, guys. That is the problem solved. If you guys like that video on the BMW 325i E46, it was a no crank, no start, but everything works situation. So if you guys like that video, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button or like, doesn't matter. But I will be uploading a lot more because I just got this new car for a good deal, and I plan on making it on a project car. So I'm probably gonna make a video on a new intake, and then I'm gonna put a new exhaust, make it a little louder. But if you want to watch that, I am Bruno, and my username is King Bruno. That's what I go by. So if you guys want to be part of the journey, make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button. And yeah, hope you have a good day.